The news shapes us, and often not for the better. The pour-over exists to help Christians stay informed without losing focus on Christ. TPO is always free, but you can help us reach more people by choosing to pay for the pour-over for just $1.99 per month at tpopod.com. That's tpopod.com, or by clicking the link in the show notes. Thanks for being part of the mission.
Hey, this is Bailey at The Pour Over.
And this is Joe at The Pour Over.
Today we're talking about more updates on the Epstein files, mixed response to the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza, upcoming Cambodia-Thailand peace talks, and other top news for Monday, July 28th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with The Pour Over.
Here's your quote of the day. The Christian life, then, is a battle so sharp and full of danger that effort can nowhere be relaxed without loss. Huldrych Zwingli. Let's get started with some espresso shots.
The Epstein headlines aren't slowing. Last week, Ghislaine Maxwell, an Epstein associate who's currently serving 20 years for trafficking underage girls, met with DOJ officials for 9 hours over 2 days. She was asked about, quote, 100 different people during interviews and was reportedly granted limited immunity for her testimony. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal reported the leather-bound book of letters written to Epstein for his 50th birthday in 2003 included a note from former President Clinton as well as President Trump. Trump has denied the note is real and sued the journal for libel. Clinton has not commented. Representatives Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Ro Khanna of California are making a bipartisan effort to obtain the so-called birthday book and force the DOJ to release a swath of files on Epstein. The DOJ says their release would harm victims. Jesus showed compassion when people expected rejection, gentleness when people expected anger, and love when people expected hate. Whether you're discussing the weather or the Epstein files this week, be imitators of Christ. Ephesians 4:29 says, "No foul language should come from your mouth, but only what is good for building up someone in need, so that it gives grace to those who hear."
After 21 months of war, aid groups are sounding every alarm over starvation in Gaza. The UN reported this week that Gaza's hunger crisis had reached, quote, new and astonishing levels of desperation, with a third of the population not eating for multiple days in a row. The Hamas-run health agency is reporting an uptick in starvation-related deaths, especially among children. Fingers are pointing every which way. Israel accuses Hamas of disrupting food distribution to engender sympathy, and it blames the UN for mismanaging aid. The UN agrees that gangs and crowds have overrun distribution, but blames Israel for the unsafe conditions. Aiming to bring about, quote, a just and durable peace and revive interest in a two-state solution, France has diverged from the US and other allies by recognizing Palestine as a country. Our God is a refuge for the poor, defending and executing justice for the needy. In the face of hunger and death, we urgently pray for daily bread and cling to the hope that one day, the Lord of armies will prepare for all the peoples a feast of choice meat, a feast with aged wine, prime cuts of choice meat, fine vintage wine. On this mountain he will swallow up the burial shroud. When he has swallowed up death once and for all, the Lord God will wipe away the tears from every face. Isaiah 25, verses 6 through 8.
Cambodia and Thailand are heading to the negotiation table after their century-long on-again, off-again border dispute reignited last week. Tensions on the border have been rising since May, when a Cambodian soldier was killed in a skirmish. The conflict escalated Thursday when Thai and Cambodian forces began exchanging artillery and rocket fire, with each side claiming self-defense. After days of fighting, including Thai airstrikes in Cambodia, At least 30 people have been killed and more than 130 displaced. Thai and Cambodian leaders are meeting in Malaysia today for direct peace talks after President Trump, who warned trade deals would be off the table if the conflict doesn't end, announced that both countries, quote, are looking for an immediate ceasefire and peace. Cambodia has asked for a, quote, unconditional truce. Thailand has agreed to make peace if Cambodia shows, quote, genuine sincerity. Here's a verse to consider while we wait for God's lasting peace to reign over all nations. I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the horse from Jerusalem. The bow of war will be removed, and he will proclaim peace to all the nations. His dominion will extend from sea to sea, from the Euphrates River to the ends of the earth. Zechariah 9:10.
Hey, it's Ellie from The Pour Over, and I'm officially in my breezy summer era, swapping out my cold weather wardrobe for linen everything. And with Quince, the transition's been effortless. Their linen is 100% European flax, which sounds fancy, and is, but their summer staples come without the fancy price tag. I grabbed a couple pairs of linen pants and some overalls, and have zero budget regret. Whether I'm heading to church, packing for vacation, or just trying not to sweat through another Tuesday, Quince is my new breezy BFF. Stick to the staples that last. With elevated essentials from Quince, go to quince.com/TPO for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/TPO to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/TPO.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. President Trump and the European Union teed up a trade deal. After a round of golf at Trump's luxury resort in Scotland, Number 47 announced an agreement that sets U.S. tariffs on European goods at 15% instead of 30%, and commits the EU to invest $600 billion in Lady Liberty. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the deal would, quote, help rebalance trade.
Astronomer's HR executive has resigned, 2 weeks after being caught in an affair on the Kiss Cam during a Coldplay concert. Other parties are crashing in on the viral moment. Astronomer hired Gwyneth Paltrow, ex-wife of Coldplay's lead singer, as a temporary spokesperson to address the public's, quote, newfound interest in Apache airflow automation. And streams of Coldplay's music are up 20%.
Fasten those seatbelts. Southwest passengers had their in-flight safety skills tested when a plane leaving Hollywood Burbank Airport abruptly descended 475 feet to avoid a mid-air collision with a Hawker Hunter fighter jet. 2 flight attendants were injured, and passengers said the drop caused, quote, pandemonium in the cabin. Several Hawker Hunters were reportedly conducting a training exercise in the area.
11 people were injured in a stabbing at a Michigan Walmart on Saturday. Authorities are pursuing terrorism and assault charges against a 42-year-old man who used a folding knife to target victims, quote, randomly. A group of shoppers surrounded the attacker and detained him in the parking lot until the police arrived. 2 victims were in serious condition as of Sunday.
A new app is spilling more than the tea. Tea, an app that lets single women anonymously review men they date and check potential suitors for red flags, suffered a data breach that exposed more than 70,000 photos, including IDs used to verify users. The No Boys Allowed app had just hard-launched its #1 spot in the App Store last week.
That's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening, TPO fam. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We're grateful for your support and hope you have a great Monday. See you on Wednesday.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Compelled Podcast. What would you do if you came face to face with a murderer sent to kill you for being a Christian? For Virginia Prodan, that question isn't hypothetical. Virginia was a small, petite attorney defending Christians in court in communist Romania, and she was really good. So good, in fact, she caught the attention of the communist regime. One day, a tall, muscular man walked into her office, closed the door, and pulled out a gun. He barked, "Shut up, sit down, I'm here to kill you." Virginia was face to face with a trained assassin. What happened next would surprise both of them. Listen to Virginia's entire story on the Compelled podcast. Virginia is on episode 31, which is titled "He Came to Kill Me." Listen on your podcast app or at compelledpodcast.com. That's COMPELLED podcast.com.